Yes, the arbitration, the process is still in the Court of Arbitration of Sports in Switzerland, and the first bid was Friday. I believe Dylan White must be extremely happy for the guarantee of more than $7 million for the fight. And if he wins, he makes over $11 million, which is unbelievable. I'm very happy that both Fury and White will be making the biggest by far purse of their lives, and I'm very happy that the process led to this great resolution. And I am not certain of what is the status. As I said, I know that the case is still in court, but I believe or I hope that it should be finished as now the fight is on. So I hope that everything is clear and happy, and we see a great fight in the ring.
I want to take you to another historic fight which is happening. Now, 2022 seems like a very history in the making. We don't speak enough about the women's boxing, and we have. The WBC is right behind a historic fight that the boxing fans are speaking about for the first time, like it's the man's fight, like it really means a lot to us. Amanda Serrano, multiple weight champion versus the undisputed Katie Taylor. What a fight. Tell me what you think about this event and how it feels for you as a proud moment for women to break history.
Well, it's a huge fight. I'm so proud. The WBC has been supportive of women's boxing for many, many years, and we see this as the culmination of great efforts. To see these two women headlining such an unbelievable fight is just sensational. I'm very proud. I'm happy. We must be very thankful to the promoters and to the fighters to take this fight. They are taking the risk, and Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano will certainly bring a unique, unforgettable event. And we believe in the power of women, and this is the best moment for the sport, for these ladies that work so hard. They have so much dedication and determination, so it shall be a sensational event.
And I'm going to let you know, the fans which are in the building right now, we got a few fans coming through right now around the world. They actually speak about this fight, Mauricio. They're excited about this fight. And isn't that a great moment that women are breaking history and women are opening it for the other women to come to the sport to become superstars? Anything's possible, and the women are making a mark.
Yes, this is a great moment. This is Leonard Hearns, Leonard Hagler, Leonard Duran. This is the fights that make you feel excited, and I am sure that after the fight, everybody will remember it for many generations to come. It's going to be a sensational, great fight.
I'm just looking forward for that fight, and I'm happy that everybody's a part of it. WBC is a part of it. Is Madison Square Garden, the best fighting the best. I think that. Do you think whoever wins that fight is the number one, the top dog in women boxing? You think?
Yes, of course. The winner of that fight is going to be highly regarded, and you have Clarissa Shields. There's another couple of great fighters, but to have that fight is just sensational.
Estrada was upgraded to a franchise, and recently in an interview with Nonito, Donaire said if he can't get the fight with Inoue, he would love to fight Estrada. And knowing that you have made, you created the franchise to create a big fight, wouldn't that Juan Francisco Estrada versus Nonito Donaire make it a big fight? And that's what defines the franchise, to create a big fight like that. What do you think about that fight?
I love it. That would be unbelievable. Nonito has defeated so many Mexican fighters, knocked out Montiel in a dramatic fight. So that would be very interesting. Estrada has the great interest to be in big fights only, and that would be a perfect understanding of what the franchise means to allow the great fights to happen.
Yeah, that would be very, very interesting. And also have Rachel, his wife, as Trainer of the Year nominations. You know, he had two great wins. We need we need that woman Trainer of the Year. What do you feel about that?
We have a special trophy for Rachel. She's a tremendous inspiration to women.
Yes, she is.
When you think about boxing, you think, well, maybe there's women fighters, but no, there she is, right as a trainer, a great, great example, and she's inspiring women to go there and be judges, be referees, be supervisors, and we're very happy that she's part of the Power of Woman that we always are always commemorating.
Now we have another champion, which is now the tables have turned. Your other franchise champion is in Australia, George Camboses, many regard as the undisputed champion. Now, Mauricio, in George Camboses, what is the future is bright for this young kid from Australia, and he is your other franchise champion, if I'm correct.
Yes, George is a sensational kid. I had the opportunity to be with him in Las Vegas and his family. Um, he's had 3 beautiful kids, and I'm just very proud of him. He's a truly gentleman and hardworking, and the way he went out and fought and won a fight that nobody thought he could win. Nobody gave him a chance, and he proved millions wrong. And certainly there are big fights in the horizon that he can take, and fighting Haney, fighting Lomachenko, rematch with Lopez. But Lopez, I believe, has moved up in weight. But there's so many great things in the future for this young kid. And I'm just very proud of George.
I mean, talking about Haney, as we touched on Haney, a lot of people feel like Devin Haney should get the opportunity to fight this fight with George Camboses. Now, Devin Haney hasn't had a fight which is a mandatory fight for a long time. And people feel that he should be in a big fight, such as a big unification with a fight with George Camboses. How do you feel about Devin Haney's position? And what do you feel about him fighting someone like George Camboses for undisputed?
Well, Devin Haney is a sensational fighter, a great champion. I am very proud of him. I met with him before he became professional. We were very close to him throughout the development of his professional career. And the last 3 fights have been tremendous. He defeated Gamboa, he defeated Linares, and then defeated Jojo Diaz. So he's a tremendous champion. I'm very proud of him. There's so many fights out there that he can make. I was led to believe that they were very close of making Camboses Haney. They were together in interviews and in the ring, and I believe that's one of the biggest fights for both. There's also Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Davis, Lomachenko. There's so many great fights in the lightweight category. Berchelt, he's now moving up into that category. So,
he is?
Yeah. He has announced he's going to fight in lightweight now. So, so many great fights can happen, and I just hope they get in the ring and do them.
If you can, Mauricio Sulaiman, we saw a picture of all the presidents, you, the IBF president, the WBO, WBA, late last year. Can you elaborate, if you can, what was that meeting, or what was that gathering about?
Yes, we have been in communications for a long time. The idea is always to try to do the best for the sport. And there's specifically 2 topics that have to do with the organizations that we need to understand the need to work together. First, the mandatory situation. When you are a champion, you need to do the mandatory defenses that the organization dictates. There's different rules in the 4 organizations. And what we have been trying to address and propose is to have one joint mandatory contender. When there's a unified champion, instead of having to fight the WBC and then the WBO mandatory fighters, we do a process in which the mandatories fight each other, and then that winner fights the unified champion. It's a process that has to do with some legalities. It has a process that has to do with the rules and regulations of each organization, but we're trying to move into that direction. We're trying to secure more unifications and more fights for the undisputed title. But then comes the mandatory that gets into the way. But we're working on that. Basically.
So, like, for example, if it was Virgil Ortiz in mandatory, just an example, in mandatory position in the WBC and Jerome Boots Ennis in the mandatory position in the IBF, they would have to fight each other to get like a Earl Spence, something like that.
Can you please repeat? I was reading I think Nonito said he had COVID before Caballo, and that's
that's Nonito Donaire. Nonito Donaire is telling us that he had 1 month COVID before Caballo.
Yeah, so he can tell us very vividly what COVID does, and that we had to change many rules into the consideration of what happened in that division. But,
well, let's do this then, Mauricio. Nonito Donaire will be coming soon for, like, we have a karaoke show, which is a big boxing show. You can only come if you sing and you get in.
Can I go in also?
Yes,
of course.
We
every Thursday.
We want to invite you, and maybe, you know, the WBC champion Nonito Donaire, and we have this karaoke boxing talk. Would you be interested? And so we can set it up for you to come on Punch Drunk Boxing for a karaoke boxing night with Nonito Donaire.
I will sing Pink Floyd, my favorite band.
That's nice. I will top that with Aerosmith.
Okay. I would try AC/DC, but that tone is very complicated for me.
We'll make it work.
Excellent.
Yeah, hey Punch, go on.
Oh no, I was asked them the question to follow up with the example. If for example, what you were explaining earlier with the Belt Federation and the mandatories and things of that nature. So let's say Virgil Ortiz was the mandatory in WBC and Jerome Boots Ennis was the mandatory in the IBF, right? So would they have to fight each other to get a Earl Spence fight? That's what you were trying to say? The top guys.
That's an example. But we do not have a mandatory in the welterweight division yet. We ordered a fight that did not take place. It was going to be Ortiz against somebody else. It didn't happen. So we have ordered a tournament. There's going to be several fights taking place. And the idea of the agreement of the 4 organizations is to begin in 23 with a schedule, because currently several fights have already several divisions already have mandatory contenders. So you cannot do this resolution because of legalities. So we're working on this, and hopefully by the beginning of next year, everything will start with this process.
That sounds great. What do you feel about the Keith Thurman and Mario Barrios fight?
Oh, it's a tremendous fight. In fact, that's part of the WBC tournament. That's an official WBC bout. We're going to do several fights to determine the mandatory contender for Spence, who holds the WBC and also the IBF title.
Oh, that's great news.
But one of your other champions is coming back now, Errol Spence, isn't he? He's had a bit of a layoff, and he's going to be fighting for unification. The WBC champion Errol Spence is going to be fighting Ugas.
Yes, that's a tremendous fight. Ugas he deserves so much respect, and we welcome him to fight for the WBC title with open arms. Absolutely.
I know you can't control the other belt federations, but of course, the fight with Earl Spence and Bud Crawford is a fight that most of probably all boxing fans want. What would you and the WBO probably will come together? Can y'all come together try to make that fight happen, or it's just it's not you don't want to step on WBO's toes or things of that, or
It's up to the
vice
promoters.
versa?
We have to respect the autonomy of the organizations. Of course, everybody would love to see Crawford fight Spence, and that's a fight that is natural. So hopefully it will take place in the near future, hopefully this year. But it is something that there's so many great fights that can happen, but we are always up to do our best for them to proceed and happen, of course.